The universe was silent, not the kind of silence people know on Earth, but a deep and endless silence. No sound, no light, only darkness spreading in every direction. Somewhere in that darkness something was waiting. Far away, on a small blue planet called Earth, humans looked up at the night sky. They saw stars shining like tiny lights. To them, space looked calm and beautiful, but the universe was hiding a secret so powerful that even light could not escape it. That secret was a black hole. For a long time, black holes were only a theory. Scientists talked about them in books and papers. Movies showed them as giant space monsters that eat everything. People believed black holes were holes in space, hungry and angry, ready to destroy the universe. But the truth was very different. This story begins with a desperate call. Not a call made by a human voice, but a signal sent across space and time. High above Earth, a space observatory was watching the universe. It was quiet inside the control room. Screens showed stars, galaxies, and empty space. Scientists worked calmly, checking data, drinking coffee, and waiting. Then something strange happened. One screen began to flicker. At first it looked like noise, random lines, weak signals, nothing special, but one scientist noticed something unusual. The signal was repeating. Again and again, it was not random. This was not normal space noise. The team gathered around the screen. The signal was coming from very far away, so far that light from that place had taken millions of years to reach Earth. Whatever was happening there had happened long before humans even existed. The signal was strong, and it was changing. Something massive was moving. The scientists did not know it yet, but they were hearing the desperate call of a black hole. In deep space, a giant star had reached the end of its life. For millions of years it had burned bright, creating light and heat. Inside the star, two forces were fighting each other. One force pushed outward, trying to keep the star alive. The other force pulled inward, trying to crush it. For a long time the star survived, but nothing lasts forever. The fuel inside the star began to run out. The outward force became weaker. The inward force became stronger. Slowly, the star started to collapse. At that moment the universe held its breath. The star could not support its own weight anymore. It collapsed faster and faster. Then in a powerful explosion, the star died. This explosion was called a supernova. It was brighter than an entire galaxy, but only for a short time. After the explosion, something remained. Not a planet, not a star, something new. All the mass of the star was squeezed into a very small space. Gravity became extremely strong, so strong that even light could not escape. Space itself bent around it. A black hole was born. The signal detected by the scientists came from this event. Space and time had shaken. The black hole was announcing its birth like a silent scream traveling through the universe. But the black hole was not a hole. It did not open like a mouth. It did not chase stars. It did not hunt planets. It simply existed. The scientists looked at the data again and again. They checked their machines. Everything was working correctly. This was real. They were not seeing destruction. They were seeing creation. On Earth, people often ask one question: what happens if you fall into a black hole? It is a scary question. Movies show people being pulled, stretched, and destroyed. While there is some truth in the danger, the idea of black holes as evil destroyers is wrong. Black holes do not move around looking for things to eat. They stay where they are born. Objects fall into them only if they come too close, just like with any other object that has gravity. If our sun suddenly became a black hole, Earth would not be pulled in. Earth would keep moving in its orbit. Life would end for other reasons, but not because the black hole chased us. This is something most people do not know. The desperate call from space was not a warning of the end. It was a message from the universe asking humans to understand it better. The black hole was teaching something important. It showed that the universe is not simple. It is not gentle, but it is not cruel either. It follows rules of gravity, space, and time. As the scientists continued to study the signal, they realized this was only the beginning. This black hole was just one of many. At the center of almost every galaxy, including our own Milky Way, there is a supermassive black hole. These giants are millions or even billions of times heavier than the sun. And yet galaxies exist. Stars are born, life continues. Black holes are not the end of the story, they are part of it. The desperate call from the darkness was clear now. Black holes were not what humans thought they were. They were not monsters. They were not holes tearing the universe apart. They were doors to understanding the deepest secrets of space. And this was only the first step. Because the next question was even more frightening: what lies beyond the edge of a black hole? To be continued. Space did not react when the black hole was born. There was no sound, no light flash that could be seen from nearby stars. The universe stayed calm as if nothing had changed. But something had changed forever. The black hole had formed an invisible border around itself. Scientists later gave this border a name. They called it the edge of no return. Once anything crossed this edge, it could never come back. Light could not escape, time could not escape, even the laws of physics began to behave strangely. Far away on Earth, the scientists stared at their screens. The signal from deep space was fading, but the questions were growing stronger. They knew they were looking at something powerful, something dangerous, and something beautiful at the same time. The black hole did not send messages like a radio tower. It did not speak, but its gravity spoke for it. Space around it bent like soft fabric. Stars near it changed their paths. Gas and dust began to move faster, forming a glowing ring around the darkness. This glowing ring was bright, hot, and violent, but the center remained completely dark. Nothing came back from there. A young scientist in the room whispered, "What is happening inside?" No one answered, because no one knew. To understand the black hole, scientists imagined a traveler, not a hero, not a monster, just a silent observer moving through space. The traveler drifted closer and closer to the black hole. From far away it looked calm. The black hole did not pull suddenly. There was no giant force dragging everything in. The traveler felt nothing strange at first. Stars still shined behind him. Time still moved normally. His clock ticked second by second. Everything felt peaceful, but to someone watching from far away, something strange was happening. The traveler was slowing down. His movements became slower. His clock ticked more slowly. Every second for him became longer for the outside universe. This was not magic. This was gravity changing time itself. As the traveler moved closer to the silent edge, space stretched. Time stretched. The universe bent around the black hole like water going down a drain. From the traveler's view, nothing special happened when he crossed the edge. There was no sign, no wall, no alarm, but once he crossed it, there was no way back. Outside observers would never see him cross. To them, he would appear frozen at the edge, slowly fading into darkness. His image would become weaker and weaker until it disappeared, but the traveler kept falling. Inside the black hole, space and time changed roles. The future pulled him forward. Just like gravity pulls objects downward on Earth, stopping was impossible, turning back was impossible. The center of the black hole waited ahead. This center is called the singularity. It is a place where everything we know breaks down, size becomes zero, density becomes infinite, the laws of physics stop making sense. No human, no machine, no signal has ever reached it and returned. The universe keeps this secret locked away. Back on Earth, scientists did not talk about falling travelers. They talked about numbers, math, and data. But deep inside, they knew the truth. Black holes were limits. They showed how far human knowledge could go. Yet black holes were not empty. Around them, stars were born, gas clouds moved, galaxies grew. Black holes helped shape the universe, not destroy it. This idea shocked many people. Black holes were once seen as enemies of life. But now, scientists understood something important. Without black holes, galaxies might never form properly. Stars might not find stable paths. The universe could be a chaotic place. Black holes were dark builders, silent architects of space. The desperate call from the black hole was not a cry of danger. It was a reminder that the universe is bigger, stranger, and deeper than human imagination. The scientists saved the data. They shared it with the world. News spread quickly. People felt fear, wonder, and curiosity. Some asked, "Can a black hole reach us?" Others asked, "Can we use a black hole?" But the most important question remained unanswered. If nothing can escape a black hole, how do scientists study them at all? The answer was simple. They never look at the black hole itself. They look at its shadow. They watch how stars move around it. They study the glowing rings of gas. They listen to the shaking of space and time. Black holes cannot be seen, but their effects cannot be hidden. As night fell on Earth, the scientists left the observatory one by one. The screens went dark. The room became quiet again. Above them, the black hole continued to exist. Silent, patient, powerful. It was not chasing the universe. It was waiting to be understood, and the next mystery was even deeper. If black holes trap everything, how can the universe stay balanced? The black hole stayed silent, but the universe around it was alive. Stars moved in slow circles. Clouds of gas danced like smoke. Nothing seemed broken. Nothing seemed out of control. This confused many people on Earth. If black holes were so powerful, why was the universe still standing? The answer was balance. Every force in the universe has a role. Black holes were not accident. They were not mistakes. They were part of a system far older than humans could imagine. Far inside a distant galaxy, a supermassive black hole rested at the center. It was huge, heavy, and dark. Millions of stars moved around it just like planets move around the sun. The black hole did not pull them in, it held them in place. This surprised scientists. They discovered that black holes are not always hungry. Most of the time they are quiet. They sleep. Years pass, thousands of years pass, even millions of years pass. Nothing happens. Then slowly something drifts too close. A cloud of gas, a dying star, a piece of cosmic dust. The black hole does not rush, it waits. As the object moves closer, gravity begins its work. The object starts to spin faster and faster, heat builds, light appears, the darkness is surrounded by fire. This is how black holes feed, not with chaos, not with anger, but with patience. On Earth, scientists studied these feeding events. They saw bright flashes in space. They measured energy stronger than anything humans could create. These flashes traveled across the universe, reaching Earth after millions of years. To humans it looked sudden, to the universe it was slow. The black hole did not destroy balance, it controlled it. Without black holes, galaxies could grow too fast or fall apart. Stars could crash into each other. Space could become unstable. Black holes acted like anchors, holding everything together. This idea changed how humans saw darkness. Darkness was not empty, darkness was not evil, darkness had purpose. A scientist once said, "Black holes are not killers, they are guardians." The word spread quietly, but they stayed, yet there was another mystery, something even more strange. Black holes were not completely silent. When two black holes moved close to each other, space itself began to shake. They circled faster and faster, locked in a deadly dance. Then, in one powerful moment, they collided. When black holes merged, they sent waves through space and time. These waves were called gravitational waves. They were not light, they were not sound, they were movements of the universe itself. When these waves reached Earth, special machines felt them. The movement was tiny, smaller than an atom, but it was real. For the first time, humans did not just see the universe, they felt it. This was another desperate call. Not from one black hole, but from two becoming one. A message saying, "We are here, we exist." The universe was not quiet after all. As scientists listened to these waves, they realized something powerful. Black holes were shaping the future of space. They were not leftovers of dead stars, they were active parts of the universe's story. But the questions did not stop. If black holes help keep balance, what happens when they grow too large? Some black holes grow slowly, others grow fast. When a black hole becomes too active, it can release massive energy. This energy can push gas away, stopping new stars from forming. In a strange way, black holes decide when stars are born and when they stop. Creation and destruction, both controlled by the same force. This idea frightened some people. How can something so dark control so much? They asked. The universe did not answer. Black holes do not explain themselves, they do not give warnings, they do not make promises, they simply follow the rules of nature, rules humans are still learning. Late at night, a scientist stood outside the observatory. The sky was clear, the stars looked calm. He knew that somewhere out there, black holes were working quietly, shaping galaxies, bending time, and holding the universe together. No explosions, no screams, just balance. And yet, one final mystery remained. If black holes help the universe stay stable, what happens when a black hole itself begins to disappear? The answer was more shocking than anyone expected, because even black holes do not live forever. To be continued for a long time, humans believed one thing was certain. A black hole lives forever, it eats, it grows, it never gives back. Darkness, once created, stays forever. But the universe had another secret, far from Earth. In the deepest silence of space, a black hole existed alone. No stars nearby. No gas clouds, nothing to feed on, it was quiet, almost forgotten. If black holes were truly eternal, nothing should change. But something was changing, very slowly, so slowly that even the universe barely noticed. On Earth, a scientist once asked a strange question. What if black holes are not completely black? At first, the idea sounded impossible. Black holes trap everything. Light cannot escape. How could anything come out? But the universe does not care about what sounds impossible. The scientist discovered something shocking. At the edge of a black hole, space is never truly empty. Tiny particles appear and disappear all the time. They come from nothing and return to nothing. Most of the time, these particles cancel each other out, but near a black hole, something strange happens. One particle falls in, the other escapes. This escape is very weak, very small, almost nothing, but it is real. This tiny leak is called Hawking radiation. The black hole was losing energy, not fast, not loudly, but slowly, endlessly. The black hole was fading. If someone watched this black hole for a few seconds, they would see nothing. For a few years, still nothing. Even for millions of years, it would look the same. But over an unimaginable amount of time, the black hole would shrink. Bit by bit, piece by piece. Darkness was not eternal after all. This idea changed everything. Black holes were no longer final prisons, they were temporary. Even the strongest force in the universe had an ending, but this ending was not peaceful. As a black hole becomes smaller, it becomes more active, it releases energy faster. The final moments of a black hole could be powerful, bright, and violent, a last breath of darkness. Then nothing. The black hole disappears. What remains after a black hole dies? No one knows. The universe keeps that secret hidden. Some believe information is lost forever. Others believe it is stored on the edge of the black hole, written into space itself. This question is one of the greatest mysteries in science. The information paradox. If information can be destroyed, then the rules of the universe are broken. If it survives, then black holes are not destroyers but keepers. The universe refuses to answer for now. While scientists argued, the black holes continued their slow fading. Not just one, every black hole, from the smallest to the largest. Even the giant black hole at the center of the Milky Way will one day disappear, but not soon. It will take longer than the age of the universe. Longer than stars will shine, longer than galaxies will exist. Black holes are patient. They wait longer than anything else. This thought made humans feel small, not weak, just small. The universe does not rush, it does not panic, it allows even darkness to fade in its own time. A scientist once said, if black holes can die, then the universe is more gentle than we thought. Yet another question rose from the silence. If black holes can disappear, where does everything they swallowed go? Stars, light, time, are they gone forever, or are they transformed into something new? Some scientists believe black holes may lead to other places. Other times, other universes, not as tunnels for travel but as doors for information. Others believe the answer is simpler. Maybe the universe recycles everything, nothing is lost, nothing is wasted, everything changes. Darkness becomes energy, energy becomes space, space becomes time. The black hole once feared becomes part of a larger cycle. Birth, balance, fade, as night covered Earth. The stars continued to shine. Humans slept, unaware that even the darkest objects in the universe were slowly disappearing. The desperate call from the black hole had changed tone. It was no longer a warning, it was a lesson. Nothing lasts forever, not even darkness. But one final mystery remained. If black holes fade so slowly, what will the universe look like at the very end? The answer was colder, darker, and quieter than anyone imagined. To be continued, the universe has a habit of moving forward. It does not stop, it does not look back, it only continues. After learning that black holes can fade, scientists began asking a new and uncomfortable question. Not about today, not about tomorrow, but about the very end. What happens when everything slows down? Far in the future, stars will begin to change. One by one, they will burn out. The bright lights that once filled the sky will grow dim. Galaxies will become darker, space will feel emptier. This future is not violent, it is quiet. In this cold future, black holes will be among the last objects left. Long after stars die, black holes will still exist. They will sit in darkness, slowly losing energy, slowly shrinking. They will be the final keepers of the universe's past. A black hole does not remember in the way humans do. It does not think. But everything that ever fell into it became part of its story. Stars, planets, light, and time were all mixed together inside. As black holes fade, they release tiny pieces of energy back into space. Not as stars, not as planets, just weak heat spreading thinner and thinner. The universe begins to cool. This future is called heat death. In this state, everything reaches balance. No movement, no energy left to use, no light to shine, no heat to feel. Not darkness like night, darkness without contrast. A universe that simply exists. This idea scares many people. A silent universe feels lonely, empty, meaningless, but the universe does not feel fear. It has no emotions, it follows rules. In this cold future, time itself loses meaning. Without change, there is no way to measure moments. Seconds, years, and ages blend together. Nothing happens. Yet even here, black holes play their final role. They do not fight the end, they guide it. By slowly releasing energy, black holes help the universe reach its final calm state. They smooth the last rough edges of existence. Darkness does not win, balance does. A scientist once compared the universe to a long story. Stars are the loud chapters. Galaxies are the deep plots. Black holes are the final pages written slowly and quietly. Not an ending full of noise, an ending full of peace. But not everyone agrees. Some scientists believe the universe may not end this way. They believe something could restart everything. A new beginning hidden inside the end. They look at black holes again. Inside a black hole, time and space break apart. Some theories suggest that inside this chaos, a new universe could be born, not connected to ours, not visible to us. A universe inside a universe. If this is true, then black holes are not endings at all. They are seeds. The universe could be creating new worlds through darkness, just as stars are created through light. This idea is impossible to test for now, but it changes how humans see the future. The end is not empty. The end may be a door. Back on Earth, a scientist stood in a dark room watching a simulation of the universe's future. The screen slowly faded to black. No stars, no galaxies, only silence. He did not feel fear. He felt wonder. Because even in this cold ending, there was beauty. The universe had lived its full life, from fire to balance, from chaos to calm. Black holes were there at every stage, born from death, holding balance, fading with time. They were never enemies, they were timekeepers. The desperate call that once came from deep space now sounded different. It was not asking humans to be afraid. It was asking them to understand their place. Humans are temporary, stars are temporary. Even black holes are temporary, but the universe continues its journey. The next mystery waits quietly. If black holes are not monsters, if they are not endings, then why do they feel so terrifying? The answer lies not in space but in the human mind. To be continued, black holes do not create fear, humans do. In space, black holes are silent. They do not scream, they do not chase. They do not choose victims, they simply exist, following the same rules as stars and planets. Yet when humans hear the words black hole, their hearts feel heavy. Why? The answer is not in the sky, it is inside the human mind. Humans fear what they cannot see, they fear what they cannot escape. A black hole represents both. It is invisible, and once crossed, there is no return. This idea touches something deep. From the beginning of time, humans have feared the unknown, darkness in caves, silence in forests, endless oceans. Black holes are the final unknown, placed far beyond reach. They are the universe's mirror. When humans look at black holes, they see their own limits. A scientist once explained it simply: black holes remind us that we are not in control. This loss of control feels uncomfortable. On Earth, humans build walls, rules, and machines. They create order, they measure time, they explain nature. But a black hole ignores all of this. Near a black hole, time slows. Space bends, direction loses meaning. The rules humans trust begin to fail. This is frightening, not because black holes are dangerous to Earth, but because they show how small human power really is. A person standing under the night sky sees stars as peaceful lights. They feel calm. But when they learn that at the center of the same sky lies a giant invisible force, calm turns into fear. Yet the black hole has done nothing. It has not changed. Only understanding has changed. Movies and stories made this fear stronger. Black holes became villains, giant mouths eating worlds, portals of destruction, endings without hope. These stories are exciting, but they are wrong. In reality, black holes are slow, they are careful, they are distant, they affect only what comes very close. Most black holes will never touch anything meaningful. They will live quietly and fade away. Still, fear remains. Because black holes do something rare, they break imagination. Humans can imagine explosion, they can imagine fire, they can imagine storms, but how do you imagine a place where time stops making sense? How do you imagine something darker than darkness? The human brain struggles, and when understanding fails, fear fills the space. But some scientists felt something else instead: respect. They saw black holes as teachers, as limits placed by the universe to say, this far and no further. Not everything is meant to be touched. Not everything is meant to be entered. Some things exist to be observed, not conquered. This idea is difficult for humans. Humans want to explore everything. They want to land on planets. They want to touch stars. They want to see inside black holes. But maybe black holes exist to teach patience. They remind humans that knowledge has boundaries, that mystery is not a weakness, but a natural part of existence. A scientist once said, black holes are not puzzles to be solved. They are questions to be respected. As time passed, humans learned to live with this fear. They stopped asking how to survive inside a black hole. They started asking what black holes tell us about reality, and the answer was powerful. Black holes show that the universe is not built for comfort. It is built for balance. It does not care about fear or safety. It cares about rules. Gravity, energy, time. Understanding this made humans wiser. Fear slowly changed into curiosity. Instead of asking, what if a black hole comes for us? They asked, what can we learn by watching it from afar? They built better machines, stronger detectors, smarter tools. They listened to space more carefully. They learned to read the quiet language of gravity and light. Black holes became guides, not threats. Still, one mystery remained. If humans fear black holes because they show our limits, what happens when humans try to cross those limits anyway? One day, humans may build machines brave enough to go closer than ever before. Not to fall in, but to stand at the edge, to look into the darkness and learn without entering. This edge is where the next story begins. The edge where fear meets curiosity. The edge where knowledge meets mystery. The universe waits there, silent, patient, unchanged. And the final question rises quietly. Will humans ever truly understand black holes, or will black holes always remain one step beyond us? To be continued. Humans have always stood at edges. The edge of the ocean, the edge of the sky, the edge of what they understand. Every time fear whispered, do not go further. Every time curiosity replied, just one more step. Black holes are the final edge, not an edge of land or water, but an edge of reality itself. For many years, black holes were faraway ideas. Humans talked about them, but they felt unreal. Too distant, too abstract, but slowly that began to change. Machines became better. Eyes in space became sharper. Humans could not touch black holes, but they could stand close enough to listen, very close. At the edge of a black hole, strange things happen, not inside, not beyond, right at the border. This border is calm, no explosion, no sudden pull, no warning. To someone falling, it would feel normal. But to someone watching from far away, time would begin to stretch like soft rubber. Seconds would become minutes. Minutes would become years. The edge is where two worlds meet. One world follows the rules humans know. The other world follows rules humans cannot yet understand. Scientists built simulations to imagine this place. They watched virtual clocks slow down. They watched light bend into circles. They saw space curve like a mirror. It was beautiful and terrifying because the edge showed something important. Reality is not solid. It bends, it stretches, it changes. Everything humans trust, distance, time, direction, can be rewritten by gravity. At the edge of a black hole, the universe shows its true flexibility. This realization changed how humans saw everything else. If time can slow near a black hole, then time is not fixed. If space can bend, then space is not flat. If light can be trapped, then nothing is truly free. Black holes did not just teach about space, they taught about existence. A scientist once described it like this: standing near a black hole is like reading the universe's original language. Humans are beginners, they know only a few letters, still they keep trying. Some scientists believe that the edge of a black hole holds information, not inside, not lost, but written on the surface. Like words on a page, every star that falls in, every particle of light, every moment of time, nothing disappears, it changes form. If this is true, then black holes are not forgetful, they remember everything. This idea is strange and comforting at the same time. Nothing is truly lost. The universe keeps records even in darkness, but there is a limit. Humans can stand at the edge only with ideas and machines. They cannot cross it, and maybe they never should. Some edges exist for a reason. The universe does not invite humans inside black holes. It invites them to learn from the outside, to observe, to listen, to accept mystery. As technology grows, humans may get closer. They may measure the edge with more precision. They may understand more of the language written there, but the final truth may stay hidden. Not because the universe is cruel, but because mystery is part of balance. A universe with no mystery would be simple, and a simple universe would be boring. Black holes make sure that wonder survives. Late one night, a scientist looked at a new image on a screen, a glowing ring of light surrounding pure darkness, the shadow of a black hole. It was real. Humans had finally seen one, not a drawing, not a theory, a true image. The black hole did not look angry, it did not look hungry, it looked calm, like an eye watching the universe. In that moment, fear faded, curiosity remained. The edge was no longer just an idea, it was a place. And with that image, the desperate call that began this story found a new meaning. The black hole was not calling for help. It was calling for understanding. Only one part of the story remains. After everything humans have learned, what does a black hole truly mean for us? Not for the universe, for humanity. Final part coming next. The black hole never spoke, it never sent words, it never gave answers. Yet, humans listen more carefully than ever before. For centuries, humans believed the universe was built only for light. Stars, suns, and bright galaxies felt friendly. Darkness felt empty and dangerous. Black holes changed that belief forever. They taught humans that darkness is not the opposite of light, it is part of the same story. When humans first discovered black holes, they felt fear, then curiosity, then respect. Now something new began to grow. Understanding. Black holes showed humans that the universe does not exist for comfort. It exists for truth, and truth is not always easy to face. Humans learned that they are not the center of everything. Time does not move for them alone. Space does not stay flat for their convenience. The universe does not bend to human ideas. Instead, humans must bend their ideas to the universe. This was a hard lesson, but an important one. A black hole takes everything that falls into it and changes it, not into nothing, but into something beyond understanding. This idea reached beyond science. It reached into human life. Humans realize something simple and powerful. Change is not destruction. Endings are not always loss. Just like stars must die to create black holes, old ideas must fade to create new understanding. Black holes became symbols, not of death, but of transformation. They reminded humans that limits exist, that not everything can be reached, touched, or controlled, and that this is not a weakness, it is balance. A scientist once said, "The universe is not a problem to be solved, it is a reality to be experienced." Black holes prove this. They exist without explanation. They follow rules without asking permission. They remind humans that mystery is natural and may be necessary. As humans looked deeper into space, they also looked inward. They questioned their fear of the unknown. They questioned their need to control everything. Black holes taught patience. They taught humility. They taught that some answers come slowly over millions of years, and some answers may never come at all. Yet humans did not stop searching. They built better tools. They listened more carefully. They asked better questions. Not how do we defeat black holes, but what can they teach us? This change in thinking mattered. Because the greatest danger to humans was never black holes, it was arrogance. Black holes showed that power without understanding leads nowhere. True progress comes from listening, observing, and accepting limits. The universe is not against humanity, it is indifferent. And in that indifference there is freedom, freedom to explore, freedom to wonder, freedom to learn without fear. Somewhere in the Milky Way, a supermassive black hole sits quietly at the center. It has been there longer than humans have existed. It will remain long after humans are gone. It does not know humanity exists. Yet it has shaped human thought more than almost anything else in space. That is its strange gift. The desperate call that began this story was never about danger, it was about attention. The universe asking humans to look deeper, not just outward, but inward. Black holes are not monsters hiding in space. They are mirrors. They reflect the limits of knowledge. They reflect the power of curiosity. They reflect the beauty of mystery. In the end, black holes are not what humans thought they were. They are not holes. They are not destroyers. They are not endings. They are teachers. And the lesson is simple. The universe is bigger than fear, bigger than imagination, bigger than understanding, and that is what makes it beautiful. as the stars continue to shine and darkness continues to exist. One truth remains clear: humans will keep listening, because sometimes the deepest answers come from the darkest places. The end.